Good evening, ladies and gentlemen, brothers and sisters, friends and family. Thank you for being here today for the commencement ceremony for the 2020 class of Steamfitters UA Local 602. This year's been a tough year with the coronavirus the way that it is. We've had to come up with a way to hold a graduation without making it unsafe and dangerous for any of our population. So we've decided to have a virtual graduation, and this is it. Despite having a virtual graduation, it doesn't lessen what you guys have accomplished. It's not easy to get through 5 years at this apprenticeship school, I know, but we're proud of each and every one of you for doing that. We'd also like to thank some of the people that make these graduations possible, the contractors, the staff, the teachers, just everybody else that's involved in it. Also like to thank Michael Dent for 20 years of service on the committee. It's been a great help and an asset to the apprenticeship school, as well as Leroy Watson for 10 years of dedication. And we'd like to make sure that they get the recognition that they deserve. Without them, these things are not possible. Without further ado, I would like to introduce your 2020 class valedictorian, Andrew Mish.
Hello, it's an honor to graduate valedictorian of our class. Though we aren't able to get together this year, I'd like to thank all the people that made it possible for my classmates and I to succeed in this apprenticeship. From all the early work mornings to the late evenings spent at school, I'm sure we can all say it's worth it now that we're graduated. I especially want to thank Bolin for giving me the opportunity to work for them and supporting me in every aspect possible. Bolin and the Local 602 have exceeded all my expectations over the years and have provided me work I feel proud to be part of. I look forward to working with everyone. Thank you.
5 years seemed like a long time first starting off into the apprenticeship. It went by very fast. There's a lot to be learned. Coming into the program is pretty intimidating. Hear stories of all that is to be learned and the late nights after work, stuff along those lines. It wasn't as bad as it seemed coming in. Come through your first year was a little rough. You lose a lot of people first year. Just put your best foot forward and keep on moving.
So my neighbor that I grew up, I actually cut his grass. He came by one day and he said, "Do you want an opportunity to, do steam fitting?" And I knew I wanted to get in the HVAC trade, but because I knew college wasn't for me. So I knew I wanted to work with my hands. And he said, "If you like it, give it a shot." And he presented the opportunity to me and I took it, and it is worth it. I mean, tenfold. I mean, I would recommend it. I talk to people all the time. If they don't know what they want to do, I recommend, getting to a program like this.
10 years before I got into the UA, I painted cars, and I took a year off when my daughter was born, and I was lucky enough to get into a small residential company that happened to be part of the 602, and that's how I heard about the program and applied and got in. I'd say I didn't really know what to expect. It was hard to come back to school. I had a family going, and it was a big career change. I had to basically start over, so it was a big leap, and I'd say 5 years later, I'm glad I took it because I'm much better off.
Now, I grew up in Pennsylvania in a little town called Nutropoli, and then I moved down here just doing, actually started doing concrete. I was looking to get into a union. I looked at Local 26, Local 602, and Local 602 was just more appealing to me as a broader variety of things to do within the union itself.
Well, I took welding in high school, so I've always had an interest in that and working with my hands. I'm not an office person. My teacher in high school was an iron worker. That wasn't really interested in being an iron worker. They're all angry all the time. So my dad's actually a plumber with Local 5, and of course I got to be a little different, so joined Steamfitters 602.
It's something really special. I mean, that's why I went and bought this shirt, so I can represent it, out on the golf course, out at work, and, try to get more guys to become part of the local. I had a lot of really good instructors and a lot of really good classes. I mean, the first couple of years you really get to learn a lot about the different, areas of the trade, whether it be pipe fitting class or residential AC, basic electricity. I mean, there's really a lot of facets to our trade, and I think the school does a really good job to cover that. And then as it gets later on through the apprenticeship, it really dials into more advanced topics like chillers, and there is actually a controls class, which did really, I mean, at the time I took that class, it was nice, but I'd already known all that. But from a guy that doesn't work in a controls position, that would be a really good class to take.
When you're young in the trade, you kind of get overwhelmed. You know, it's easy. You get overwhelmed very easily. And that was a cool thing about school, because the teachers, they would talk about their, you know, what they experienced out in the work field, and, you know, how they handled it, and, you know, what they found was best. So be patient when, you know, sometimes it will get a little bit tough, but just keep a level head and keep moving forward.
It's really unbelievable how far you can go with just a little bit of help, and everybody's willing to offer that help. Don't ever feel defeated. You never lose. You either win or you learn. In my books, there's always something to be learned here. Everybody's, like I said, willing to teach you. Like I always tell all of the younger guys, and, you know, is take this opportunity, don't take it for granted, because it's a good opportunity to have, and if you stick with it, there's room to grow.
When a teacher that's here has done the same thing that you're doing and explain it to you a different way instead of just a teacher's way, 100 times better. Just take all the knowledge you can get. You may know something, but there's always another way. So that's, I guess, shut up and listen would be the best advice, and show up to work every day.
At this time, I'd like to present to you a strong voice for labor and a great friend to Steamfitters UA Local 602, Senator Brian Feldman.
Good evening. I'm State Senator Brian Feldman, Vice Chair of the Senate Finance Committee with jurisdiction over labor issues. On behalf of all the members of the Maryland Senate, congratulations to all of the graduates from the Local 602 Apprenticeship Program on this important achievement and milestone in your careers. I also want to thank all of the members and leadership of the United Association, including General President Mark McManus and Local 602 Business Manager Danny Lovelace, and incoming Business Manager Chris Modello, for the work that they do each and every day to advance the cause of good skills, training programs, and middle-class wages and benefits. I also want to thank and recognize the leadership of MCA of Metro Washington, Tom Bello, Mike Miller, and Randy Greer, and all of the UA signatory contractors that make this great construction trade partnership work. To all of today's graduates, you are a critical and necessary workforce. We expect great things from you. Many of you may know that this year I sponsored legislation, which is now law, to advance the cause of apprenticeship training and outstanding wages across our great state, Senate Bill 35. This important legislation now makes more state construction projects eligible for prevailing wages, which are the wages that guarantee a fair playing field for you and your fellow workers at Local 602 and MCA of Metro Washington. That means more work and hours for you, ongoing investments in the programs that provide that training, and far better construction standards and work product for the residents of the state of Maryland. Together, we got the job done. This last year has been a challenging one, to say the least. The COVID-19 pandemic has all but shut down construction, government, and the programs that train young workers, apprentices, and journey workers such as yourselves. But we stuck together, rolled up our sleeves, and got through it. Were it not for the leadership of the United Association, your union, we could not have come out of it as strong and well-positioned as we are today. A special thanks to your General President, Mark McManus, who worked with the state of Maryland and the federal government, and whose leadership has been indispensable. Extra special thanks goes to the Apprenticeship Committee, to Training Director Gary Murdoch, and my friend, Business Manager Dan Lovelace. These are the leaders who make this incredible apprenticeship training program possible. At this point, it is fitting to take a moment to thank Danny for his decades of service in the progress of skilled union construction, just weeks from his retirement. Thank you, Danny, for your leadership, your vision, and for always putting the best interests of workers first in all that you do. We are in your debt. And so let me conclude by saying how proud we are of this year's apprentices. and the outstanding leadership of which you are now a part. Thank you all for your outstanding work, and good luck to you.
My name's Brad Graham. I'm a local 602 instructor. I've been involved with the trade for going on 11 years. Instructor at the Maryland campus for the last 2 years, teaching STEAM systems.
My name is Paul Webster. I graduated from the program in 1996. I worked 2 nights a week up here at the school teaching a class, 5th year advanced piping. So I'm one of the last classes that the construction group gets to take. It's priceless, it's valuable, it's really important. I feel like I've got an important role with the local.
My name's John Van Ness. I'm the 2nd year basic electric service class instructor. It's very rewarding. I have a challenging responsibility, teaching people something from the very beginning of no knowledge to being able to understand and work on electrical components at the end of the semester. It's a lot to grasp.
When the opportunity came up to where school and teaching was available, I thought about the reason why I am where I'm at, and it's because of the instructors in this organization. So I wanted to give back to the people that are following me the way that people in front of me, or my instructors, taught me.
For years, I was a supervisor for many companies, and I did what I called BS training. Friday nights, Saturday, we'd get together, go over the product that we have under contract, teach everybody that. Here, as an instructor, it's a whole different gamut because I'm helping people get to their career. I'm not just worried about one contract. I want to see them become successful.
The great thing about Local 602, after you graduate, that's not the end of it. Your education's growing forever. You could come back for journeyman training. You could come back for foreman training. So the idea that graduation is the last nugget of success for these individuals, it's far from it.
The number one thing I like is the fellowship. Being around people that have more in common than anybody else you're going to run into. You build a relationship, you set down your ground rules and your expectations, and then invite them to bring it on. Every woman and man that walks through the doors, steps foot in the shop, it's got something to offer you just as much as you do to them. It's just, are you going to listen?
Knowing and learning and watching and building these relationships with these students, to see them go through this journey to get to the aha moment of graduation, it's 100% fundamentally rewarding. It's awesome to be a part of.
Hi, I'm Jim Balderson, Assistant Training Director for Service Classes, Local 602 Apprenticeship School.
And I'm Charlie Clausen, Assistant Training Director, Construction Classes. Welding in our trade takes years and years to perfect. Some people plateau out, and that is where they stay. Greg Ford is the polar opposite. In his career, not only did he win Outstanding Welder of the Year, but did so by maintaining a 3.83 GPA and exceeding our work hour requirements by over 2,500 hours. Greg exceeded expectations in this category, especially since he only took advanced welding in his 5th year and still managed to receive 2 weld certifications, and would have gotten more undoubtedly had it not been for the pandemic. So Greg, thank you for your hard work, and it is my pleasure to present you with the 2020 Outstanding Welder of the Year Award.
Andrew Mish is our outstanding service student of the class of 2020. Besides that, he is also our valedictorian with a GPA of 98.99. Being selected as an outstanding student of one of our disciplines, welding, pipe fitting, or service apprentice, is quite an accomplishment because it means you had the discipline and conviction to take every class as serious as possible. It's hard to do as you are going to work every day and then school 2 and sometimes 3 times a week. Andrew has shown himself to be a leader and a person who truly cares about his apprenticeship and what it means to not only himself, but all other students as well. I have no doubt that I will be calling Andrew to ask him to teach at the school sometime soon. So congratulations on this award, Andrew. You have certainly earned it.
When you say pipe fitter in our trade, you should think of a well-versed, seasoned mechanic. The young men and women that have achieved this award in years past have met this description at an early stage in their career. Trey Boatman Jr. is no exception. Trey graduated with a 3.88 GPA, and not only did he do this while getting the required work hours met to graduate, but exceeded that mark by 2,000 hours, which in itself is a great achievement. So Trey, it is my great pleasure to present to you the Pipe Fitter of the Year Award for the class of 2020.
The next group of people we would like to acknowledge are the students who had a perfect attendance throughout their 5-year apprenticeship. The reason we give this award is because we must recognize the commitment and sacrifice of the students to be here at school every single night of class. This means when you are sick, tired, or any other of life's problems that arise might keep you from school. These students are here, no excuses. There are a few days built into missed class nights, and we are very diligent about how many classes a student can miss during their 5 years experience. But these students miss none. To say that they are special is an understatement. Thanks to these individuals for their perfect attendance. Thomas Blanchard, David Cisneros, Alexander Gasper, William Harrell III, Wyatt Johnson, Saeed Nawafi, Thomas Olbreeze, Mike Randall, Kyle Sullivan, Andrew Thomas, Cedric Thomas, and Aaron Walker.
So, for the graduating class of 2020, thank you very much for your service and good luck on your future endeavors.
Hi, my name is Mike Dent. I'm currently the chairman of the Industry Fund for the Mechanical Contractors Association. And on behalf of the MCA of Metropolitan Washington and our signatory contractors, I would like to recognize the following graduates who have excelled on their journey to become the finest steam fitters in our industry. 2020 class valedictorian Andrew Mish and salutatorian Christopher Knoll. I would like to present the Seal of Excellence to Andrew Mish as valedictorian for your outstanding achievement while serving and completing the Steamfitters Local 602 apprenticeship program. Andrew completed his apprenticeship while under the employ of Boland Services while maintaining a grade point average of 98.99 over the course of the 5-year program. Our industry would like to also recognize Christopher Knoll as salutatorian for your outstanding accomplishments over the past 5 years. Christopher worked at Combustionaire when he wrapped up his apprenticeship and maintained a grade point average of 98.32. Gentlemen, tonight you're being applauded for the many hours of study and years of labor you have endured as you graduate with these top honors. It is a great testament of the focus required of each of you and the entire 2020 class with regard to the pandemic that hit midway through your final year. May success follow you as you continue your role as a journeyman, equipped with the skills you have mastered and the respect you have earned. On behalf of the Mechanical Contractors Association of Metropolitan Washington and signatory contractors, I wish you all successful careers in our industry. Congratulations.
We would like to congratulate the graduating class of 2020. Christopher Alquist, John Alderson, Ashton Amos, Daniel Beek, Thomas Blanchard, Trey Boatman Jr., John Bacabello, Kyle Bowersox, Daniel Bowling, Robert Bradshaw, Michael Brady, Zachariah Breeden, Daniel Burke, Alton Carthens, Brian Case, Dave Cisneros, Chad Krieger, Anthony Curcio Bobbitt, Gregory Day, Daniel Dean, Paul Dibble, Philip Dix, Brandon Easterling, Eric Edwards, William English, Kevin Eskins, Ryan Utzler, Bruce Evans II, Clarence Farrell III, Randy Farrell, James Fleming, Gregory Ford, Oscar Garcia, Alexander Gasper, Joshua Godbold, Jason Goff, Christopher Grasso, Kevin Gray, Kyle Gray, William Harrell III, Michael Higdon, Nathan Huber, Dean Hewitt, Robert Ireland, Marlon Jackson, Robert Jackson, William Jackson III, Daquan James, Matthew Jensen, Wyatt Johnson, Trey Jones, Jonathan Justice, Zachary Karras, Travis Kirby, Gustavo Kiesler, Justin Kaiser, Jonathan Ledoux, Daniel Lee, Ryan Leonardi, Talmadge Lewis, Russell Lohr, Kelvin Lopez, Saeed Luafi, Christopher Maddert, Javier Mariquin, Zachary Matthews, Barnett Matthews Jr., Michael May, Christopher Mendoza, Jeffrey Mentor, Andrew Mish, Daniel Miss, Nico Morcell, Michael Moss, Alexander Mueller, Joseph Myers Jr., John Newton, Christopher Knoll, Fausto Ochoa, Jabril Alford, Thomas Olbreeze, Samuel Osborne, Albert Ulett III, Kevin Paget, Travis Padrick, Wesley Painter, Christopher Papanicholas, Matthew Parsons, William Penn, Joshua Phillips, Michael Pinkney, Christopher Pixley, Andrew Quilling, Thomas Racky Jr., Mike Randall, Jacob Rumalley, Zachary Roseman, Andrew Rozier, Corey Sharonbrock, Charles Schneider II, Jacob Seiler, Stephen Shriver Jr., Dylan Slater, Hunter Smith, Michael Sneeden, Andrew Stamey, Christopher Strom, Kyle Sullivan, Kyle Swan, Joseph Toma, Andrew Thomas, Cedric Thomas, Curtis Thompson, Nestor Valencia, Roger Vaughn, Colton Vicentainer, Mark Volpe, Aaron Walker, Terrence Walls, Andrew Watson, James Witten, Luke Woodburn, Antonio Yates, Jeremy Yoho, Roland Young Jr., Mark Zom, and Zachary Zielinski.
Thank you all for joining us for this special occasion. And to the graduates, we're proud to call you brothers and sisters. Good luck and good health.